and it's related to the justice. And I represent the Servas International, and I'd like to introduce Servas International first. Just like Rachel already introduced me, that I studied in the United States for 7 years to gain 3 diplomas. However, it's difficult for me to really understand how Americans live their life. And in Wisconsin medicine, it's okay. I ever been invited to my classmates' home for the daytime. And in California, everyone seems very busy. Yeah, so as a student, it's not easy. But now I got a chance to attend the service. You just watch the films. I think I like the service. And because we have a vision to make peace and to make a community-based tourism. So actually, I work in healthcare. Most of the time, we say we work in a hospital. And in service, we say we host our friends. So you see they are host. But in hospital, of course, we need to be hospitality. Because when we are very vulnerable, we need people be very nice to us, to protect us. So I think Servas International is important for how can the domestic people can lead you, how they live their life in their community. And in our group, Servas member, please raise your hand. There you are.
Oh, yes.
And here, oh, great. And see, we are so lucky when we come to New York to have this conference. And then we have a chance to leave our friends' home. Then they can introduce their culture and the food and the important things to us. So, so I think the Servas International or Servas represent the Servas Taiwan. Please take a picture for me.
Yeah.
Okay, and also Servas International.
The other way.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so I think you will be interested about the Servas. And today, there are also multiple institutions or organizations will come to this topic. And the first speaker is Lindsay. Probably later, because we represent a different organization. Probably later, when I introduce the whole idea, how we talk about. And our goal today is encourage dialogue across organizations and share effective model or experiences, strengthen cross-border collaboration. And actually, I'm from Taiwan. This time, it's the first time I come to join the CSW in person. It's also the Servas International. In the past, we have the virtual. And now I know here, I'm an outsider. I'm in a marginal kind of status. It's kind of a little bit strange. So that's the challenge of the border, right? Yeah, probably the American people will become this situation later on. So, but sometimes you feel that I should join in, but I cannot, or I don't care, want to join in. It's kind of strange feeling and a strange participation. So today our topic is border. How we close out the border. So probably the open conversation will bring us more thinking and the change. Okay, so also we inspire more future partner can keep the partnership better. Yeah, we can appreciate different organizations' vision and action. Okay. So, so I think it's important. We are a family. We are in a community. How can we look at the community? How can we look at the justice? How can it grow through our community, through our culture, through our action and thinking? Okay, so I'd like to say why this kind of dialogue is important. Because I think we still have some vulnerable group. Although in the last session, we try to keep money, earn money. But here we don't need, we should not forget that there's some people are traumatic, are vulnerable, need to protect or need to help. Okay, and also I think to talk about the justice, just like we are in a tricky world situation. Yeah, a lot of tricky things. So what is so-called justice? And how do we make us a human being? What action we should take? Okay, and also some people might not attend a lot of things, or they keep secret to suffer something like that. So I think today's topic will be important. So we are lucky to have 4 distinguished speakers today. Okay, the first one is Lindsay Green. Okay, she's a program director of this word is difficult to pronounce. Can you try to pronounce it?
Yes.
Okay, what does it mean?
I'll tell you.
Let's wait.
Okay, and this word or this organization was established in 1921 in California, right? And I know it's very famous even in Taiwan. I wonder how about the members of Sorrow Optimist?
Two Sorrow and the 500.
Oh, okay.
Australia.
Please raise your hand
Ooh.
or stand up. Oh, see,
You're
so many.
Seroptimus. Yeah, Seroptimus. Yay.
Wow, such a huge power. A woman help woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things. So I think I just transfer the microphone to the.
So yes, what does Seroptimus mean? So sorrow means sister, and optima means optimism. But we are the best of sisters, or the best of women. So that is how it works. Am I going back up there now?
Yes. Yes.
You can go. Okay.
Yeah, wait. Start at the beginning.
Thank you, Dr. Shu. So my name is Lindsay Green. I'm going to pick this up. So I am the Programme Director at Servas International, Great Britain and Ireland. And we are one of the 5 federations of Servas International. We're a global volunteer women's movement with a network of over 62,400 members in 106 countries. If you know about us, why aren't you one of us? Great Britain and Ireland, SIGBI for short, is based in the UK and is a registered charity. I'm going to talk about the slides sort of as we go along, so just let them fly along in the background. But we're a bit of a misnomer because we actually have clubs in 9 Caribbean islands and in Asia, so India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, plus the Republic of Ireland and Malta, so we're not just Great Britain and Ireland. And we have charitable status in the UK, and we have special consultative status at the UN. And our objects are the advancements of education, the advancement of health and saving lives, relief and prevention of poverty, the advancement of good citizenship and community development, the advancement of equality and diversity, and the advancement of human rights throughout the world. And we're here to make life better for women and girls wherever they live and in whatever circumstances they live in. We're non-sectarian, we don't have any party political affiliations, and we work with anybody that shares our objects. So our clubs, our regions and individuals all do projects which we call programme, and they meet local, regional or global needs, and those clubs make their own decisions on what they want to do. So some of the work that we've undertaken is around trafficking, and that's what I want to talk to you about today, or modern day slavery, or even just modern slavery, and we'll skip with the day bit. So you'll have seen some of these pictures going through. There are some of those. So the cards, they're on the back. They were produced by Sir Optimist to help us actually promote the idea that slavery is just in your street. So we did a wide study in the UK, and what we heard was, when we were asking people, do you know about slavery, do you know about trafficking, everybody said, oh no, it doesn't happen in my street, it doesn't happen in my town, it doesn't happen in my city, it's not here, it's there. And actually we know that's not true, it's not there, it's here and it's now. 19,125 potential victims of modern slavery were referred to the Home Office in 2024. So the members of the Republic of Ireland realised that they had a really big problem. They wanted to do something about it, and they started their Hidden in Plain Sight campaign, and you've seen some pictures of that. That campaign has raised awareness and understanding across the whole of Southern Ireland and has elevated the issue to one of national attention, and it's influenced real political action. It's included high-level discussions with government ministers, and they're being supported to share this work with delegates here at CSW. So a little plug for their session, which is on Wednesday the 18th at 10:30 in this room, and it's all about their Hidden in Plain Sight campaign, and they're doing it with another organisation that's going to bring some people in that have actually been trafficked to talk about their experiences. I'm hoping that their work that they've been doing will actually be rolled out into the UK and other parts of our federation, because I personally don't believe in reinventing the wheel. If there's something working really well, why don't you tweak it, use it and build it into what you're doing? Lots of clubs across the countries have offered hands of support to the victims. They've offered gifts, they've offered clothing. Again, you've seen some pictures of them gathering stuff together. We've done mentoring, we've done English lessons, we've supported them in their new homes, If there's a group going on in that area, the Seroptimists are in there and they're helping. During the Olympics, there was this wonderful big box that there it is, the gift box. That went around lots of cities and towns, and on the outside it talked about how wonderful it would be if you came to another country and there's people there that would help you, and they'd get you a new job, and they would get you a new life, and they would get you qualifications. But when you went inside the gift box, you actually realised the reality. And the reality was discussed with people that actually that's not the truth. You're going to be trafficked by that promise of the gift that doesn't actually exist. In Wales, they developed a book. I dropped my card. Oops, I've dropped my papers. Called Brave Bear. And this is a story of friendship and freedom. And he's just a brown bear with patchy fur and one eye, but he's Bella's best friend. He might be little, but he's faithful and daring, and he will stop at nothing to help Bella. So when Bella finds herself stuck in a hopeless situation, it's her bear who helps her in more than ways than one. So Brave Bear is all about, and it was sold in aid of invisible traffics. It's all about trafficking, and you can see it on Amazon. And it's a nice cartoon book. Nice pictures, all about the bear. So forget about Paddington. Think about Brave. So the Seroptimists in Wales really realised that was an important book. So they bought lots of copies and they put them in the local libraries, they put them in the local schools, they put them everywhere so other children could see what's been going on. In the Caribbean, and you've seen the pictures of the buses, you've seen the pictures of their public places and their orange benches that they've put up. They realised they needed to do something where girls were being brought in. So there's a big issue in Trinidad and Tobago with women being brought in. There's women being brought in from India into Barbados, is it, Deborah? And they're just being left. And then they're lost and they don't know what to do. Other federations have also worked on this issue. So and a really classic example is that when women and girls poured out of Ukraine at the start of the war, the Polish Seroptimists were there to help, but they noticed these really nice men in yellow jackets going, "We will help you, come to us. We will take you to a safe place. We'll help you. Come to us. We'll take you to a safe place." The women that got on that bus were never seen again because they were being trafficked. So the Seroptimists in Poland thought, yeah, not while we're here, you're not going to do that. So they watched them, they reported them, they safeguarded the women coming out of Ukraine, gave them water, gave them sandwiches and said, don't go near that bus. And the Irish Seroptimists have said to me that one of their biggest cases that's just about to go to court, and apparently the story is horrific, is one of those women, and they're trying to extradite the Polish man back to Ireland to stand trial. So what can you do? You can raise awareness and you can share it. You can act on what you see, and the cards tell you a bit about that. So, is someone working against their being controlled? Are they subject to violence and threats? Are they distrustful of authorities? In Ireland, if they think there's somebody being trafficked that works in, for example, a nail bar, the police say, don't say anything, just tell us. When they go in, half the nail bar staff disappear out the door and they go, they've been trafficked. So they know, because people run. And they often don't want to talk to you, but don't tackle it, report it, and learn what mechanisms you have in your own countries about how you can report something that doesn't look right. We did have some advocates in Sheffield a few years ago who went to the authorities with a woman who had been trafficked and said, this woman has been trafficked. And the police went, she's a drug trafficker, we'll arrest her, and we're arresting you because you're a drug trafficker. And it's like, no, she's been trafficked, she is the person that's been brought in. So language is really important. It took quite a while for the police to understand that traffic people is also an issue. And obviously people are not going to go to their local authority. They're not going to go to the policeman on the corner because perhaps the policeman in the corner in their countries are not a safe person to go to. So they're very distrustful of authorities. So one of the things that people can do is they can wear a metal spoon on their person, in their bra, doesn't have to be as big as this one, in their bra, in their knickers. If they're thinking they're being taken out of the country, this will set the alarm off and they will be taken to the side by security, and then they can say, I've been trafficked, I'm in trouble, please help me. Unfortunately, a few years ago, one of the big papers in the UK heard all about this fantastic scheme and wrote it in the paper. So that meant that every potential trafficker knew to check that the girls had got spoons in their bras.
Yeah.
But it's a really good, very simple thing to do. To carry a spoon, you can get help. The other thing that you can do is to learn the signal for help. So, it's been up there. The signal for help is an open hand. You put your thumb inside and you fold your fist. But you're not likely to go up to somebody and go, because they're going to go, what? You're more likely to see somebody walking along the street doing this. Because that person is signaling to you they need help, but they don't want the man stood next to them knowing that they're signaling you. So watch out for women doing hand signals with a hand, a thumb, and a fist. And if nobody takes anything else away from this session today, learn that and pass it on to somebody else. Pass it on to another woman. And I don't think it's just for domestic abuse, it's for anybody that needs help and they're vulnerable. So it's a really good sign to have. As I said, it's important to have that. And I think that's all that I've got to say.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you for Lindsay's wonderful speech. And I think the education is quite successful. Before I came to this country, I asked my students if you know some sign. They totally understand better than me. And even in Taiwan, we say 5, 4, 0. 5, 4, 0. So they separate them into the all countries' language. Try to remember it.
It goes in order. It's in order.
Interesting because okay. So thank you for Lindsay's important reminding about how we recognize some crime, some injustice action, or things happen in our community. And next one, I'd like to introduce Nine. Yeah. Actually, it's not easy to moderate in this session. A lot of words I need to learn and pronounce. And Nine is from Nine Umarira. Is that right? Okay. Okay. And from Rwanda. Yeah, Rwanda is a country that will guide us and give us a lot of things in human history. And now I feel, wow, how come you can recover and do such a brilliant things quickly? Yeah, and Rwanda, because I'm proud that Taiwan has a national health insurance, and Rwanda has it too. And And also, I just heard one story. The Taiwanese Sorovistic club, they donate the money to Rwanda. However, I told my Taiwanese friends, actually, you should listen how they mobilize their ideas and action into their community. Such a healing and recovering strength, I really admire them. Okay, so the next.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ninette Umuretwa. I am the Executive Secretary of Haguruka. Haguruka is a women's rights organization that promotes and defends the rights of women and children in Rwanda. We have established our organization since 1991. We are celebrating almost 35 years of existing. Today I'm honored to share some approaches that Haguruka use when it comes to support women and children, girls to access quality justice. Haguruka do not work in isolation. We believe in partnership. We have created a collaboration with different stakeholders, including government institutions, ministries, but with civil society organizations as well. Do we have civil society organization from Rwanda here? Yes. To achieve our mission, we have a great collaboration, at least with 3 ministries. First one is the Ministry in charge of Gender and Family Promotion. Haguruka created a strong partnership with that ministry because we all have a common interest about women's empowerment, gender, family promotion, as well as child right protection. That's why we work day to day with the ministry. But we also have a great collaboration with the Ministry of Justice, obviously because we do provide legal aid to women and children, but also Haguruka together with the Ministry of Justice, we all have common interest when it comes to general legal aid service to citizens, but particularly when it comes to provide legal aid service to vulnerable people. We have a great partnership with the Ministry of Local Government. Haguruka can't do anything if we do not collaborate with local leaders on the ground at community level where the right holder lives day to day. That's why we have that partnership. I said we believe much in partnership. We also partner with civil society organizations in Rwanda via different umbrellas. I can just give 2. We are a member of one umbrella called Legal Aid Forum, which is an umbrella of 32 civil society organizations that are in the domain of legal aid services. But we are also a member of another one, a big umbrella in Rwanda that's called Profam Twese Hamwe, which is an umbrella of different civil society organizations aiming at advancement of women's status, peace, and development. I said we believe in partnership. If anyone wants to partner with us, after the meeting, we shall connect. It's a first approach that we use, but we have many. I already talked about this. I was discussing about collaboration. but we do access to justice and psychosocial support to women, as I said. This is statistic of women and girls we can support for free. It's a pro bono legal aid. We support those who are not capable to afford a lawyer. Even for elite, it's not easy to pay a lawyer. Imagine vulnerable people. We do court representation. This is average in numbers. But we have also another approach I want to share. But before sharing this approach is a shelter where women can spend some night temporarily when the danger is at home. When we talk about legal aid service, we have a number of women who come to our offices looking for a lawyer, but while explaining the case, we as a lawyer, I'm a lawyer as well, we find that this client, this right holder is not going back to, because we find ourselves the danger is at home. That's why we have constructed 4 shelters across the provinces. If the danger is at home, they can spend night while we are accelerating to find sustainable solution. I have this story I want to tell you, to share with you. It's a woman called Ziripa. It's a victim of economic violence. Ziripa had lived with her partner more than 10 years. They brought 3 pieces of land together. They constructed 3 houses together again and 2 children together. But after 10 years, the husband of Ziripa, the partner of Ziripa, decided to break up with her. Since Ziripa had nowhere to go, she asked if she could have a small place to stay. But the answer was no. The husband told Ziripa that she could stay under condition that she had to cook for him and his new girlfriend. Ziripa accepted all conditions for 2 years. One day, Ziripa learned about her guruka via community dialogues. She walked 4 kilometers from her village to meet our lawyer. Her guruka took the case of Ziripa case to court. But in between, Ziripa was staying at our shelter instead. And her guruka took the case to the court and won. Yeah. The judge decided that Ziripa should have the big house back and 2 pieces of property, and the husband and his new girlfriend has the small house and 1 property. And the case ended like that. I think the case like this are not only for the victim involved, but for so many women, other women. It sets a precedent and sends message to other perpetrators in the area. I love this story because when I try to compare how Ziripa was before and now, she's now have self-esteem, confidence, smiling, she's now beautiful comparing to before. And this is the role of shelter. At least after getting to know her guruka, she had a good place to stay. And this is one of, the shelter was one of approach I wanted to to present to you. And we have another one that I love so much. We call it mobile legal aid clinics. We normally receive women and girls to our office, but this one is another approach that Haguruka use, where our lawyers travel to different locations. They move from the office, they go with everything, they meet women and girls on ground, at community level. We have recorded a number of success stories because of this, because sometimes we imagine that women are aware of all services we have in place, but it's not the case. When we travel, we move from our office and we meet them at the community. We find them there. We do also community mediation, especially when it's not crime, it's not penal cases. We sometimes receive some family disputes where family member needs someone neutral to mediate. This is a very interesting approach that we use as well. A safe space for women. A safe space for women is another approach that Haguruka use. It's established at community level. It's a place where women can meet. They share their story between themselves. It's a peer learning. It strengthens their confidence, self-esteem. We have example of some space for women where women meet and they start having empathy from each other. I want to end with this story again. I have seen a safe space we established at community level, which was composed by women, but from different backgrounds. She said about what happened in 1994, the genocide against the Tutsi. That safe space for women was composed by different women from different backgrounds. Some were survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi with some frustration. Others were ex-combatants who spent more years in the forest of somewhere, but coming back after 20 years in our country. Others were those women who finished their term in prison because they did genocide. Imagine that space. But by sharing their story, first of all, those who spent more years in the forest, their colleagues think that maybe they spent years in the forest because they did genocide, which was not the case. When they start sharing their story, they said, we were in the forest because we were captured to be sexual objects of, exactly. So others start saying, oh my God, it's a kind of empathy. They try to comfort each other. This is a good space because it helps women to have these public speaking skills. When they attend different big assembly, community dialogue, they can even claim their rights. They are even not so shy and stand in the public to share their views. This is probably my last approach. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nina's introduction.
We can't hear you. You have to hold the mic.
Thank you, Nines. Next, I'd like to introduce Fidel. He did a wonderful job, and his men help woman, and how about the men? And Fidel did a wonderful job of how to change the men's attitude in Rwanda. That's, yeah, Lisa. She is also a lawyer. And, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Hi everyone. I'm very happy to be here. So my name is Fidel Rutaisire. I'm the executive director of the Rwanda Men's Resource Center, known as RWAMREC. We are a feminist NGO that works with men and boys to promote gender equality, to prevent men's violence against women, to promote positive masculinity, by transforming harmful social and gender norms, and by engaging men to promote women's rights in Rwanda and in the Greater Lakes region of Africa. I'm also a member of Servas, and I represent Servas at the UN offices in Nairobi. So, and I'm very also happy to be the only man among activist here. Thank you very much. So today I'm happy to share about RWAMREC's experience in engaging men as a missing link in women's access to justice, particularly through the community-based couples dialogue. So my predecessor, Annette, has talked about different approaches. And me, I'm going to talk about another angle of working with men as a justice strategy to support women's access to justice. So let me start with a story. Fatoumata is my neighbor. She was voted as a women's local leader, and she's educated, she's a lawyer, she's a powerful woman, but she has been going through violence at household level, and she has been a victim or survivor of gender-based violence for the 5 years. And when we ask her about why don't you go to court, why don't you report the cases at the court or at the Isangi One-Stop Center, she said, my barrier is at home. So basically many women are not able to access justice because their barriers exist from the homes. So now at RWAMREC, what we do is to actually help men to be transformed, to be allies, and to support women's access to justice. So in our work, while working with families, we have learned a simple lesson. Many women know their rights, yet they cannot seek justice because their barriers often exist from the household. As you know, globally, despite strong legal frameworks, women and girls face significant barriers to accessing justice, and these barriers are not only institutional. These barriers actually are deeply rooted in the household, power relations, social norms, and gender expectations. And too often justice is understood as court, as police, as legal services, but in reality, women's decision to seek justice are actually frequently negotiated or blocked within families and intimate relationships. So why do women don't actually seek justice? Why women do not report violations? There are many reasons. One is that they fear retaliation. Another reason is economic dependency. Another reason is stigma, pressure to preserve family unity. All these reasons actually prevent women to report violations. And our experience has shown that many women do not actually avoid justice because they lack awareness, but because their male partners or family members discourage them to go to justice. So that's why at RWAMREC we have seen that access to justice begins long before a woman enters a courtroom. So it begins in the homes, it begins in the relationships, and it begins in the communities and the relationships. So now, I'm going to take you through how do we engage men as allies, as partners in promoting women's access to justice. First of all, why engaging men matters. As you know, men still hold positions of power. They control financial resources. They control decision makings at the household level. They even control actually attitudes. They control many things from the private spheres to the public spheres. So men are very important actors, and we have chosen to engage them as part of the solution rather than the problems. So when we engage men, we engage them as accountable partners, of course with the responsibility, and we hold them accountable in many ways. And we have what we call couples dialogue, which is a community-based pathway to justice. So we engage men through what we call community group education. It's a small group of couples. They go through a gender transformative journey, which takes 17 sessions by discussing about what it means to be a man, by discussing about what are the benefits of men supporting women's access to justice. And these couples dialogues help men to critically reflect about their actions, their attitudes, their behaviors. For instance, in terms of decision making, a man who has never shared decision with his partner, in those small group of education, they critically reflect about their actions, how do they interact, and as peers, they actually challenge each other, and they also do some exercises, and slow by slow, men start to change, and they start to also recognize that women have right to speak out, that women can also be leaders, that women can also say no to what men are doing, and slow by slow they change. So actually through these participatory sessions, the facilitators of these group dialogues bring men and women together to critically reflect on the power relations and decision making within the household, but also to dismantle or to debunk the gender norms and expectations of what it means to be a man. But also they actually discuss about healthy communication at household level, and they learn how to resolve conflict peacefully without causing harm to the members of the families. And lastly, they prevent intimate partner violence, but again, they hold men accountable of their actions. So when a man has been causing or doing harm, or let's say perpetrating violence against women, then it's the time for those community dialogues to hold these men accountable and these men actually becomes allies instead of being perpetrators. So these couples dialogues actually uses gender transformative principles, and the first thing is the safeguarding and ethical considerations. We make sure that the dialogue does not cause any harm to the members of the group, and the participation is voluntary, and of course they do consent, and it is a survivor-centered facilitation. So survivors have actually the right to say no or to say yes. But also when there is cases of gender-based violence, there is what we call referral pathways. So when there is a serious case of gender-based violence, members are referred to other service providers like Aguruka or even other Isange one-stop centers, which provide holistic services to these survivors of gender-based violence. And again, we continue to assess whether there is any risk, and the purpose is to really prevent the harm. So how does the couples dialogues actually contribute to access to justice? First of all, they reduce informal barriers by making sure that the gender norms are dismantled. So the gender norms that silence women to speak out are actually capped, but also in this group education, women speak freely, and both women and men together, they challenge their beliefs about the violence, but also they learn how really to share decisions at the household level. But also these couples dialogues strengthen women's agency. They actually promote the confidence of women to be able to speak out, to be able to know their rights, but also to promote their rights in many ways. And they are able to negotiate the power at the household level. So, so men becomes actually allies instead of becoming problems, instead of becoming perpetrators. They become agents of change. They become good allies to support women's engagement, women's empowerment, but also they actually support women going to access legal services, and they advocate as well against gender-based violence at the household level. Lastly, the couples dialogue enhance the linkages between the formal justice and the informal justice systems. So now this is the evidence. The couples dialogue have been able to reduce intimate partner violence at 50%. So these couples dialogue have been able to improve also the joint decision making between the couples, but also the GBV have been reported, and the men who have been part of these couples dialogues have been able to be involved in the household activities, and this actually increases the also when men are being part of these household activities, women have agency. Women also get time to do other things, including going to court, going to mediations, and these couples dialogues have been also able to reduce violence against children at 10 to 11%, and there have been equitable household decision making. So you can see these statistics. They are showing that when men are transformed, women are able to access justice. So now what are the key lessons we have learned? First of all, justice is relational. Justice is not about only going to court or to legal aid services. It starts from the household activities. How do we challenge or transform the norms, the relationships in our social environment? And the second lesson learned is that the male engagement requires accountability. So male participation must challenge privileges, but also the harmful norms. And the dialogue must be facilitated, but also voluntary and survivor-centered. And the formal and informal systems must be linked. Again, the norm change, you have seen that it takes time. So these are our lessons learned. And as far as policy implications, we have seen that it is very important to integrate gender transformative male engagement into justice sector reforms, into justice interventions, and it should be also community-based. It should also strengthen the linkages between the formal and informal justice systems. And it is also very important to ensure alignment with the international human rights standards. And lastly, we need to invest in monitoring and learning on relational justice approaches. So as I conclude, the takeaway message is that access to justice for women and girls requires more than laws and institutions. So it requires transformation of the social environment in which women live. And our experience demonstrates that engaging men through couples dialogues is a very powerful, practical, and scalable strategy for advancing justice. So by addressing injustice as from the roots, it is possible to support women's access to justice from the social and relational environment. So thank you very much.
Would you feel incredible, so magic? One that man can be easily changed. So probably, Didier, you can share what makes you to have this kind of movement. How do you think as a man? Yeah, I really admire you, like you. Thank you. Okay, so the last one, I think that, will be the final one, but the best one was Monica Waterchit.
Perfect. So you pronounce it perfectly. Congratulations.
Yeah, Monica is a judge and the vice president at the district court in Poland. And she has a wonderful job as a female judge. So let's listen to her story and how did she play her role in Europe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Distinguished colleagues, it is an honor to join you today representing, of course, first of all, Servas International, that I am proud and very happy member, but also from my profession, European Association of Judges for Mediation, based in Paris, and of course also International Association of Women Judges, that I was one of the first Polish who joined and is starting to develop in Poland the section of this association. So as a judge in Poland and vice president of the Association of Judges for, also the vice president of the court in Poland, I witness daily how access to justice is not only a legal concept, it is a lived reality, or too often a lived absence for many women. Access to justice is, of course, not only about courts being open. It is about whether women can enter those courts safely, afford representation, be heard without any bias, and receive protection without re-traumatization. Even in our European legal systems that are formally advanced, procedural neutrality does not automatically guarantee substantive equality. From judicial perspective, the barriers women face are multidimensional. So economic dependence, fear of retaliation, social stigma, migration status, distrust towards institutions. In cases of domestic violence, sexual violence, family disputes, we observe that women hesitate to engage with the formal justice system because it feels intimidating, slow, and emotionally costly. For refugee and migrant women, these barriers multiply. So language obstacles, uncertainty about legal rights, trauma from displacement, and fear of deportation or social isolation. Since 2022, in Poland, we received millions of refugees from Ukraine, the vast majority of whom are women and children. And this has profoundly reshaped our legal and social landscape. As judges, we witness how displacement creates new layers of vulnerability. So many Ukrainian women arriving in Poland have faced trauma related to war and loss, family separation, economic instability, housing insecurity, language barriers, and uncertainty about their legal status. While Poland adopted special legislation granting temporary protection and access to public services, legal access in practice remain complex. For example, cross-border custody disputes have increased significantly in family divisions. Enforcement of maintenance obligations across jurisdiction presents procedural challenges, and some women are economically dependent and therefore reluctant to initiate legal proceedings. Additionally, trauma affects participation in formal legal proceedings. A courtroom may feel overwhelming for someone who has fled armed conflict. And this situation has required courts, but also legal aid providers, civil society organizations to cooperate more closely than ever before. We have seen the importance of providing interpretation services, so even Polish and Ukrainian are quite similar in the court. Everyone is obliged to have a interpreter or translator. Ensuring clear legal information, accelerating procedures in urgent protection cases, and coordinating with social services and NGOs. So the experience of Ukrainian women in Poland reminds us that the access to justice in time of crisis is not only a legal obligation, it is a test of our institutional humanity. European judicial cooperation mechanism and dialogue among judges through networks such as GEM or International Association of Women Judges have become increasingly important in addressing such cross-border family and protection cases arising from displacement. As members of Association of Women Judges, we recognize that judges play a critical role in dismantling systematic barriers. So gender-sensitive adjudication requires from us understanding power imbalances, avoiding reliance on harmful stereotypes, ensuring trauma-informed courtroom practice, and protecting dignity in proceedings. We judges are not activists, but we are guardians of women's rights. Through associations for women, we share jurisprudence, training tools, and comparative experience that strengthen our capacity to deliver justice that reflects realities. And this global exchange among women judges demonstrate how cross-border solidarity enhances judicial equality and independence. And I would like to show you some pictures because this association is organizing, that consists only of women judges, organizes every 2 years congresses for more than 1,000 judges, and I had the privilege to take part in the last one in South Africa. So here are some pictures, and me proud having the flag of Poland, and I was the only one representative at this conference. Some slogans are very important for our panel. So, what is justice without equal voices at the table? A truly gender-balanced judiciary is not a dream, it is a necessity. So it is what we talk about during this Congress. And I also want to share with you, I don't know whether you know what celebration is tomorrow. So yesterday we celebrated the International Day of All Women. And can you guess or you know what celebration is tomorrow? No. So tomorrow is International Day of Women Judges. Yes, so it was designated by the United Nations in 2021, and International Association of Women Judges have some side events during this conference for tomorrow, and also a reception and some events that I will also join. So if there are some places you can also learn more about judiciary at these events. And maybe I want to share with you, so it was one celebration, quite new, since 2021, and in 2025 there was a new celebration also designated by the United Nations General Assembly concerning judges, and it is July 25. And it is International Day for Judicial Well-Being. So it is about reducing judicial stress for judges, providing mental health, and that will help judges struggle through all these cases. Yeah. So why judges need such celebration of Day for Judicial Well-Being? Because courts are overloaded with files, with cases. Citizens have to wait for so long for the final decision of the court. And as a remedy for the situation in judiciary, I represent the association that promotes mediation, and mediation that is understood as a part of access to justice. So as a part of access to justice, it is our role of judges to offer every person mediation as a first step. If it failed, then we can offer them court proceeding. So mediation can be faster, less adversarial, less re-traumatizing, and more empowering. However, we need to remember that mediation must be applied carefully, especially in cases involving gender-biased violence. Mediation is only appropriate when power imbalances are addressed and safety is ensured. So when mediation is structured properly, mediation can give women voice, can provide practical solutions, reduce procedural delays, and increase compliance with outcomes. So across Europe, judges who are engaged in GEM, in European Association of Judges for Mediation, promote mediation not as a replacement for justice, but as a complementary path to meaningful resolution. Access to justice means access to multiple pathways: formal courts, specialized courts, legal aid, victim support services, but also mediation. So please have a look on this funny, maybe poster with teddy bears. It was created in Poland. That one teddy bear today is better than two teddy bears in 2 years. We have such posters in courts in Poland. And don't be right, be smart, choose mediation instead of court procedures. If you want to know more about the association, please find us on the our website, and we have a profile on LinkedIn. The association was created 26 years ago, is governed by French law, the headquarters is in Paris, and it brings judges together who wish or use mediation and other alternative peaceful dispute resolution. And currently we are more than 800 judges. We also offer some trainings. If any of you would like to implement such trainings in your country, please also contact us. In recent years, we supported Ukrainians, also from the Supreme Court of Ukraine, and we offered the training for Polish and Ukrainian judges on mediation, conciliation, and mindfulness elements. That was a great success. We provided already 3 editions of this training. And with cooperation with Weinstein International Foundation, this is the American foundation, and Polish Pro-Mediation and Pro-Wellness Foundation. I will leave you with this quote to read, because I need to go faster and to the end of my speech. So, organizations like GEM, International Association of Judges, illustrate how professional judicial networks across borders strengthen national systems. Through dialogue, comparative analysis, and shared jurisprudence, we learn from different legal cultures, we identify good practices, reinforce standards of independence and fairness, and we build collective resilience against political and institutional pressure. So cross-border solidarity among women judges contribute to systematic transformation, and it allows us to bridge grassroots realities and institutional reform. But the judicial system does not work in isolation. We need collaboration with civil society organizations, survivor advocacy groups, legal aid providers. When courts listen to communities, justice becomes people-centered. Storytelling as mentioned in this panel, plays a powerful role. Survivor narratives reveal where institutions fail and where reform is needed. Organizations such as Servas International, Soroptimist, Haguruka, Rwamrek demonstrate how solidarity networks and grassroots initiatives strengthen justice ecosystems. So through intercultural dialogue, project-based advocacy, survivor support, and community mobilization, these organizations that we had in our panel bridge the gap between lived experience and institutional reform. As a member of Servas International myself, I have experienced how dialogue across borders builds understanding, empathy, and long-term commitment to peace and human dignity. That spirit of solidarity should also guide our justice systems. When institutions and grassroots movements work together, then justice becomes not only a legal mechanism, but a shared social responsibility. So ensuring access to justice for all women and girls require strong laws, independent courts, gender-sensitive adjudication, professional solidarity across borders, and cooperation with grassroots actors. As judges, we must continuously ask ourselves, are our systems truly accessible? Do women feel heard? Do they leave courts stronger and safer when they entered? Justice is not only the application of law, it is protection of human dignity that was said in the opening ceremony today, and dignity must be accessible to every woman, everywhere. Thank you.
Monica made a wonderful conclusion already, and yeah, and Monica reminded me a little bit about the lady justice. Did you go to see the statue of the lady justice? But she can walk, can talk, can mediate, and fight for the justice in the real life. Yeah, thank you for your wonderful speech. And I think, thank you all these four speakers. And yeah, because we only have 10 minutes. So yeah, I just quickly summarize the four speakers. I think that they give us different parts to think about the woman's safety and justice, about the recognize, recover, prevention, and justice, fight for their safety and well-being. And also, I think the panel discussion, we just probably just go to the Q&A directly. So totally, I think we emphasize community-based organization, survivor support, how do we can initiate, and what kind of programs, and what can we do to establish the comprehensive judicial and legal system. So key messages that, yeah, I think it's not finally go to the court. Even go to the court, there's a lot of trouble. So I think we have a consensus, have to have a prevention ideas and community rooted. And also, I like the Rwanda's good match, yin and yang is important in Chinese. So female and male should collaborate each other and love each other. And the cultural change can, so probably later on you can ask the idea, how can he be such a different man? I think he's a quite good model for everyone. Okay, so how can we collaborate and so we still have
Questions,
time.
anyone? Does
Yeah.
anyone want to raise their hand? If you have a question or an organization wants to contribute to the topic? Great. Easy from that side.
Hi everyone, I am Constant Odunfa from Benin in West Africa. So I was so interested following the different presentations, and I have a question on the second presentation from Ninette. And I think this links or relates a little to what Judge said in her last presentation. You mentioned community mediation. And my question in these matters of gender-based violence is most of the time, and I think someone said it later, gender-based violence is seen as a family matter. So when you talk about community mediation, people in these communities see it as a family matter. So they want to settle it quickly so that family doesn't break because of this gender-based violence. And finally, you see the survivors of this gender-based violence finally going back to their, they are violent, if I may say it that way. So, do you think that, really do you think that community mediation is a good way of settling these cases? And did it happen in your experience that you tried that community mediation and finally didn't get what you wanted? Because most of the time women see it as not justice, because it facilitates the fact that finally we just settle it. And what can we do to make sure that even if it is community mediation, we finally get justice at the end of the process? And my last point would be for Mr. Fideli, who talked about the Ramrek initiative. That relates a lot with one initiative we have. I'm working with the Batonga Foundation. I don't know if you know Angelique Ijo. She's a singer, kind of famous, and she's the one I hope it still works.
But we
Sorry.
can hear you.
Stop working.
We are listening.
Okay,
Just speak up.
She's the founder of that Batonga Foundation, and we have an initiative called the Men and Boys Engagement Initiative. And when I saw your presentation, I felt a lot of connection between these two initiatives, and I think that is a good way of approaching this problem, and would be interested in any connection with your initiative.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great
You can
question. When
collaborate.
we collect all the questions and let all speakers answer.
Well, that's,
There are the
do you want to go ahead
questions.
and
Well,
address them?
they need to answer, because
Yeah.
we're down to like the last
Yeah,
5
they
minutes.
just need to answer
5
that
minutes,
question.
that's all.
Okay.
Let's have them answer first.
Answer that question, yes.
Just be quick, because we have two more
Hello,
questions.
talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. I think your afraid is that probably by initiating community mediation, if it's go forward. Okay.
55.
Thank you so much. I think, first of all, before initiating community mediation, we first of all do community education. we have to make sure that we communicate that GBV, gender-based violence, rape, defilement are not mediated. What we do is just to, if I take an example, we have this mismanagement of property and other family issues that we can mediate, but we do not mediate GBV, rape, defilement, and other penal issues. Yeah, I don't know if I captured well second question, but I want to assure you that, by the way, at community level, families always intend to hide. They always even wish to mediate these GBV issues, but this is our role to do legal education, to let the community that there are a list of issues that are not mediated at all. That is our role. I don't know if you asked me a second question or before that. Okay.
Yeah.
So my brother from Benin, so I'm happy to connect with you after this talk. And for your information, we have the Africa Men Engage Network. So I'm happy to take you through and become a member. So, and for the community-based mediation, actually when a GBV case comes into the couples dialogue, we also refer it to relevant legal aid services, because gender-based violence cases should not be mediated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, because of time, we have many questions. You can just talk to the speakers later. And thank you very much for everyone's coming. And also, I'd like to mention about Rachel is our important coordinator. And we also appreciate and also Jojo and everyone and our Servas International members, and also all the organizations come to join our discussion, and I hope that we can more translation later on. Thank you.
Okay, so let's continue this discussion. If you have questions for specific panel members, again, you can contact them directly through the Whova app and message them and they can answer you back. Also, we have the sign up in the back. If your organization would like to collaborate with one of these or all of these organizations and network more, that's available. We're going to set up a Zoom meeting in April to follow up and continue the conversation and have everybody speak and dialogue and ask questions and go forward. Thank you. Nanette would like to invite the participants to join her side event on the 13th of March at 4:30. It's in the UN building, right? Is it room 4? Conference room 4, I think? Oh, conference room 8. She'll be on a panel there. Please join us. There are many events. Judge Monica also mentioned several events, so take a look at the Whova app to find where else they're speaking, and you can connect further. Thank you all for coming today.